up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Review Nation. Well, today, guys, we are reviewing Five Artist Murder's new album, Human Target. You know what? This album is a very fun album. It is a fun album, although the nature of the lyrics are quite strong and in depth. The overall structure, the overall deathcore to death metal elements throughout this song is quite intriguing, in my opinion. And to be honest, after 3 listens on this album a few hours ago, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So here I am to give you my thoughts on what I thought about Five Artist Murder's 5th studio album, Human Target. Well, CJ's vocals in this are just absolutely fantastic. I'm just loving the melodic tone you are getting throughout some of these songs, especially throughout songs like Welcome Oblivion, and Eye for an Eye, and Chemical Christ. They are heavy as anything, but overall it's got that melodic sort of feel, especially songs like New Gods and even Death Squad Anthem, as well as Make America Hate Again. Really fast, upbeat tempo songs. There are some deathcore elements throughout this album, but I wouldn't even call it. It's on the middle of death metal and deathcore, if you get what I mean. The overall structure, the overall crazy instrumentals you were getting throughout these songs are quite impressive. Really loving the riveting guitars, the awesome downtuned guitars as well, along with the prominent bass. The production overall is very good in this album, and I commend the production. The production's fantastic, but at times, throughout songs like Eternal Suffering and New Gods, it sounds quite gritty, but it's supposed to be gritty in that kind of good way. The overall atmosphere that this album creates is astonishing, in my opinion. Like Eye for an Eye has a nice sort of melodic guitar tone, especially throughout the introduction, but it's really slow tempo, but then it builds up to be quite heavy, along with Chemical Christ as well. It's a really intoxicating experience, this album, and I think it's definitely a step up. Might be a step up to Dear Desolation, but damn, this album is a fun album. So overall, there are 10 tracks on this album. We've got Human Target, New Gods, Death Squad Anthem, Make America Hate Again, Eternal Suffering, Welcome Oblivion, Atonement, Voyeurs into Death, Eye for an Eye, and Chemical Christ. So first of all, it starts up with Human Target. It's increasingly strong energy. It was one of the first signals that Five Artist Murder dropped. It's really strong. Lyrical, the interpretation of the lyrics, you can interpret the lyrics whatever way you want. It's all about organ transportation and the black market of organs and everything like that. Actually murdering people in order to get their organs and sell it to the next buyer. But overall, it's absolutely an incredible song. So I really did enjoy this song. Loving the galloping drums throughout the song. The drums in this album are just fantastic, along with how prominent the bass is, but it's got some awesome breakdowns, especially throughout Human Targets. It leads on to New Gods, and the energy does not stop. This song is definitely going to be crowd pleaser when he says, "New gods arise, your followers are weaponized, new gods." But then it builds up, and CJ's vocals are just outstanding in this track, along with the awesome breakdowns, especially throughout the bridge part of the song. What I love is the dynamic feel of this song overall, and in introspective, the instrumentals are just fantastic. They're raw and gritty at times, but overall the production is just fantastic, and it's overly satisfying. But yeah, it's a really fun song to jam with. Death Squad Anthem comes along, fantastic song, I love it. Overall, the music video is really gruesome and harsh. You listen to it sonically, it's just a fantastic song. I just love the flow that CJ delivers throughout this song, how heavy and gritty the song is overall. Death Squad Anthem is definitely a dynamic and emotionally rich track. You can tell there's a lot of emotion throughout CJ's vocals, especially throughout the refrained stage of the actual song. Overall, this song is very exhilarating. It's exhilarating and unexpectedly turns into one of the best songs off the album, I could say. This song's just a step up above New Gods and Human Target. It then leads on to Make America Great Again. Make America Hate Again. It's so damn intense, it's so damn heavy. This was the last single off the album. It's a pretty exciting song and everything like that, but I just feel that maybe it lacks a little bit of emotion throughout the song by CJ. Although CJ's vocals are just outstanding in this, I just feel that the instrumentals are just lacking throughout this song. I don't think the instrumentals really support how powerful CJ's vocals are. But on the other hand, it's a really fun song, and the lyrics are all about politicians, how politicians are absolutely destroying the countries that we live in. Overall, the actual album has a strong theme around it, and this is all about mankind, damnation. Everything that man touches, man destroys. So I was getting from this sort of theme album. You could say this is sort of a concept that all these songs relate to one each other. Eternal Suffering, the longest track on, I think it's definitely the longest track off the album. It runs over 5 minutes, but damn, it is a really energetic, hard-hitting song, and I believe that Die Artist Murder goes back to their roots with the deathcore elements. It's very hard-hitting, especially in the introduction when he says, "Look at the mess we've made." It's absolutely awesome. And it just builds up. It's sort of a crescendo song and just builds up and just hits you right hard into the in the face. It's just overall a fantastic song. At times, yeah, this is probably the heaviest song on the album, I'm gonna say, but it's so damn good. The instrumentals pick up and CJ screams out, "We are the broken, we are the curse, we are the stain of a dying earth." Absolutely fantastic. Overall, definitely talk about mankind and how we have, stuffed up the world. Like, this is overall pointing a message of mankind here, and just delivering a strong message of how we have basically caused our own demise. But Eternal Suffering is a great song. It leads on to one of my favorite songs on the album. It then leads on to Welcome Oblivion. Oh, this song is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I really do. I just love the build up of the song, especially when it says, "Feel it in your bones," and everyone chants, "Welcome Oblivion. It consumes your soul. Welcome Oblivion." It's so cool. Overall, a fantastic song. The breakdowns on this are fantastic. Fast, energetic, polished, bold song that's really fast hitting. There is a few nuances throughout this song, but damn, it works so well. It's such a finely calibrated song, but also a feel-good song as well, and head-bangable. Like, all this album is quite head-bangable, but I just feel that these songs are very, very fun. It leads on to Atonement. Atonement is a heavy song. Now, what CJ does with his vocals in this are just outstanding in my opinion. I just love it. Absolutely love how he brings up a high note, especially throughout some of these words. "Rise to watch you fall." It sounds so good. I can't do it, but I can't emulate that. But he does it so well, and his vocals become an instrument in this song. One of my favorite songs off the album as well. It's hard hitting, awesome breakdowns throughout the song, but this is more based on the deathcore elements throughout Atonement. Overall, loving the guitars, the downstream guitars, eerie tone guitars as well, but yet so clean. And then it leads on to Voyeurs into Death. This song is fantastic as well, especially the introduction. "Children of the cages, enslavement minus resistance." The overall guitar riffs are fantastic in this. Love how awesome the drums is, the awesome drum fills throughout this song. But overall, loving the pauses throughout parts of the song as well. It's got an awesome, tasty guitar riff, an awesome chord progression throughout the song. This is a very enjoyable song. But then CJ also incorporates those low growls, especially throughout the bridge part of the song, along with the dark instrumentals. Like, the guitars are really down tuned and they are dark, but yet they got the aggressive feel. So this is definitely one of the atmospheric sort of songs. Strong themes as well. It leads on to another one of my favorite songs called Eye for an Eye. Now, these two songs, Chemical Christ and Eye for an Eye, end up very heavy, but I'm just loving the slow build up, especially throughout Eye of the Eye with the clean guitar. Eye for an Eye builds up. It's another crescendo song where CJ is growling and CJ is incorporating those growls, but there's a lot of emotion. "We mourn as heaven crashes, the child weeps now for the loss of his mother and tomb, in shell of ancient stone." I love when he does that. And then he says, "Mother Earth." But when he says, when they chant Mother Earth, but the tone of the song changes, especially when you incorporate those drums. And then it leads on to the chorus, which says, "Drain the ocean, swallow the shores, burn the forest to the floor." Absolutely fantastic. And then from then it just gets so damn heavy, and you get some awesome breakdowns throughout the song. Overall, very enjoyable song. eye for an eye reprisal, which leads on to the last song, one of the heaviest songs off the album. It finishes off heavy, this album. It finishes off really heavy, and this song is called Chemical Christ. I'm just loving the chord progression throughout the song and nice little guitar licks as well. It's an intense song as well, but it closes the song with an epic feeling, especially throughout the ending. Like, you've just heard a huge story. Eye for an Eye was definitely about how mankind has screwed up the earth and everything like that, how we are causing wars, but Chemical Christ is ideally saying something else. The lack of emotion that mankind possesses, polluting the earth. But yeah, it ends epically as there's a huge fade out, and you start to realize, wow, this album was very good. One criticism is that you need to listen to the album a few times. You actually need to listen to the album a few times in order to get the melodies of the songs get stuck in your head. The most melodic songs would definitely be Welcome Oblivion, Eye for an Eye, and Atonement. That's a fun song. And Human Target, Death Squad Anthem's the most catchiest song, and Make American Hater Get It. These 10 songs are really tight and cohesive, and it's just a fantastic album overall. I felt this album was a lot of fun. Like, when I listen to it, I don't really listen to the lyrics and everything like that until I actually analyze it later on. But on my first initial listen, I thought it was a fun album. It was, to be honest. I know when they released it at midnight last night, I said, holy shit, we gotta listen to this. Screw reactions, we'll just review it. And I'll give you my thoughts. And yeah, I loved it at first. It's a short album, it's about 38 minutes, but it packs a punch. It's like you get hit right in the friggin' face. It's an awesome album. So at times there's an ambient feel, but yet piercing in metalish nature. It's this album's very gritty and raw. It's not as polished, but at times it's also breathtaking, especially through songs like Atonement and even Welcome Oblivion. That's a great song. Creates a stratospheric atmosphere around you, especially when listening to songs like Eye for an Eye and New Gods. But the build-up with Eye for an Eye is just fantastic. It's an awesome song overall. So this album's very finely calibrated, and at times it makes you feel good. At times it makes you feel good. You can tell there's a lot of passion. CJ incorporates those passionate vocals. Overall, a very awesome album. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 it deserves, because this is probably one of the best. They definitely explore throughout this album. They definitely experiment throughout this album. Like they give you a bit of sounds from Holy War and sounds from the previous album, Dear Desolation, and they give you a few deathcore elements, but yet mainly death metal. But yeah, awesome album. Return to form for Viardi's Murder, and I absolutely loved it. Fantastic breakdowns throughout these songs, and it was a very enjoyable listen. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this Review Nation album review for Viardi's Murder, Human Target. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So comment below if you enjoyed this album as well, and also comment below what you thought about this review. Keep discussion going in the comments section below. Be doing more reviews. Since I'm creating my own original content now, and not to mention we'll be having an album ranking later on this weekend as well. So keep the discussion going in the comments section below, and I will see you in the next one.